Here we have a 700C wheel, and it's missing a few spokes, and you can see there's one here missing here, and there's one over here as well that's missing. And today we're just going to look through how to replace a spoke that's broken as usual, and this is one of the broken spokes. As you can see, mostly it's done right at the head, because that's where there's more shearing force than there is tensile strength. Of course, the spokes are designed for tensile strength, not necessarily for being able to prevent the shearing. So it's a common occurrence that it'll break off of the head. So what we're going to do is go ahead and replace these, and because the rest of the spokes are good, and I'm not seeing anything that seems really weird, there's a little bit dirty, then what we'll do is replace the spokes. And of course they alternate between the outer and inner spokes, and they will actually alternate in direction as well. And they do what's called a lacing. So basically what happens is that you will do an over-under thing where you can see where it crosses. If you see here, it crosses this spoke and then crosses over this spoke and then goes over the top of this spoke and then connects up to the rim at this point, from the hub to the rim. So therefore this is what they call a 2x lacing, which basically crosses over 1-2 spokes before it gets to the rim. And this is typically a 3x is more common, but this is well within the tolerances that would be used, especially for something like this, because you need to have this crossover so that the torsional strength of the hub is maintained and does not allow it to flex the way too much. It'll always flex a little bit, it won't flex too much. So what we'll do is, let's find the hole here, which, as you can see, it's right here, and this is going to be an outer, so I have to feed it in from the inside, and we'll just go right through the hub here, poke it through, and then what we will do is we're going to go over and then under. And my mistake, actually, now that I look at it, of course this is a 3x because we have 1, 2, 3. The one that was missing actually was the one that actually had to be inserted. So this is much more normal. So 3x. Let's go ahead and put this in here. So now, as you can see, I have my spoke feeding through to the hole, and we'll go ahead and put the spoke nipple in. And the way that I like to do this is actually take an existing spoke, and I will feed it backwards through the nipple, and then go ahead and feed that into the hole here. And then once that's in there, I can rotate it on and thread it to the existing spoke inside. It's on there a little bit. Once it's on there, you can either do one of two things. You can either take a flathead screwdriver like I have here and feed it on more until it comes up more or less close, or as with most items, you have a spoke wrench here, and then with the spoke wrench I will go ahead and tighten this up. So what I want to do is, I'm not going to tighten this up completely. I'm just going to kind of just put a little tension on it, because I am going to put the other spoke on, and it's a little loose right now, and it might be that the spoke is a little bit too long as well, because it seems to be I seem to be bottoming out a little bit. I still have a little bit of work or a little bit of distance I can use, but now I will go ahead and put the other spoke on, which is going to be right here. So again, this is also an outer spoke, so I will go feed it in through the inside, and then pull through, and then following the pattern, which is now going in this direction, I'm going to go over, over, under. So this will now feed in through here, and come around to this hole here. And the same thing, I'm going to put a spoke nipple on the end of my spoke. I'm going to feed it in here. And this is only this feeding of the spoke nipple is typically only required when you have double-walled rims that kind of make it a little difficult to get in there. So, but I'll feed this on here. And now once it's on here, I'll start to put a little tension on it. And as it starts to tighten up, I will start to check my wobble. It wasn't too bad before, but now I should be able to bring it in closer. Center my guides. So it's not too far off. So I'll just a little bit of hit. So here's one of the spokes. This is the loose one. So this obviously is one that I want to tighten up. I want to concentrate on this one specifically at first until I feel like I cannot make it work anymore. So now it's tight, and you hit the. I usually check it just. I don't use the tensiometer, because a tensiometer typically will. Well, first of all, I don't have one, and second of all, I just do this all by feel. I just look until I get it close enough that I'm happy with the way it should be. And we will go ahead and tighten this up now to true it up. And now we go back here. There's still a little bit of wobble going on, so still something here. Let's tighten this. All the spokes will eventually need some adjustment, obviously, so that it's because the change in tension does cause them to flex and bend a little bit. So that's why it's always a good idea to true your wheels every so often. It doesn't have to be every month or something like that. It's kind of like changing your oil. You do it every few thousand miles, but obviously on a bike you're not going to be going a few thousand miles. You want to do it every couple hundred miles. But a quick check just to spin it on the bike itself and verify that it's not out of true is a good way to do it. So now with a quick truing that I did just now, you can see now as I bring it down to the guides that it's looking pretty true. I mean, there's still a little bit of wobble, but for most intents and purposes, this will be more than adequate. As long as it doesn't rub against your brake pads, then that is the critical piece. And of course, the more you true it, the more you get to the point where it's almost like you spin it and you can't even tell that it's moving. Then that is the ideal position for a wheel.